Hey, every neurodivergent person that I met, I felt easy to connect with them. I, growing up, like my teachers have always told me that I should get, tested for ADHD or autism or any form of neurodivergency. And I grew up, I'm a Haitian woman. In my household, just a Haitian household, when my teachers told my parents, they said, no, that's not true. We don't believe in any of that. I'm like, okay. So I didn't really get the help, which is okay. At least I know now. But I failed to realize that I was neurodivergent because I believed that my parents said it doesn't exist. But the moment I reclaimed it and I was honest with myself and I'm like, I am, things just became easier. I just could finally be like, I feel normal. I feel heard. Because every time I become friends or have a connection with somebody that's neurodivergent, they make me feel heard. They don't make me feel bad about myself. They don't actually make fun of me, like they actually hear me. And I think that's something beautiful. Neurodivergency, I truly feel like it's just an expressive spirit and soul, and it's easier to connect with yourself because you feel everything and anything at once. Like I tend to like disassociate a lot, and I always wonder why. And I've always been like a very expressive person. Like I've always liked to dance, I've always liked to sing, I always liked to draw. I was just very out there all the time. I created easily until trauma happened and I kept on getting made fun of, and just life overall and the trials, the tribulations almost took me over and made me become a cold person. And I started to become cold for a little bit until I realized I'm not happy. I was like, when I was a kid, I was so happy. What did I do as a kid that made me happy? And I was like, was it my innocence? And I'm like, no, there's certain things I'm innocent about now, and I still don't know. So what is it? It was because as a kid, I was just free to exist. Like right now, I was overstimulated. Like I'm at a library, but like I can still hear traffic. I can still hear the birds. I can still hear people clicking their keyboards. I'm paying attention to that fly on the windowsill. I'm listening to people talk. Like the light is too, like it's just like it's too much. So I carry around these noise cancellating headphones. Like I still hear noise, but it's like muffled, so it's not bad. And if I do that around people, they're like, oh, she's weird. Or if I like start stimming and rocking back and forth, like or just swaying or playing with my fidget toy, oh, she's weird. No, my brain is always on go. I describe my brain as a freight train. Like it's so fast. If I have a train of thought and if I don't catch it, it's going to, if I miss the stop is missed. You can't go back. Like that's how my brain is. And that's like something I had like a trouble. Something I had like uh that's something I had trouble with growing up as a kid when I came to like reading and writing. Like I would skip words when I'm reading, or I'll skip words when I'm writing. My tutor would always be like, say the words in your head before you do it. I'm like, I do. I just skip it because my hands can't catch up with my with my mind. It's very fast. Like, and sometimes when I talk very fast. So I'm trying to be in like slow down, Savannah. That's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, and like I befriend another neurodivergent. They just get me. If I just give like a stare and I'm like, you know, most people would just be like, what's her problem? But when people are neurodivergent, they're like, I have a friend that has epilepsy and I'm neurodivergent, and my other friends are neurodivergent. All of my friends are neurodivergent, and my partner, she's neurodivergent too. I never felt so connected with groups of people as much as I did before I met them. They make me feel normal, they make me feel heard. I make sure my friends stay heard as well. And like, I didn't know much about epilepsy until I became her friend, their friend. And it's just like, when it happened like out of nowhere, right? And I went to EMT school, but I remember when I went to EMT school, the teacher was like, no matter how much knowledge you know, you're gonna know half of it when you're in the moment. Because you have to account for your nervousness. You never done it before. You might be scared, you're worried, there's so many things you gotta be thinking about. And I'm like, that's so true. Because the whole time I was just like, I know the basics, like, put her flat on the ground or laying down on the side, making sure her head is protected, all these basic things. But I'm just like, looking at her and I'm just like, is she okay? I had to hope for the best and stuff. But I feel like I understood it because I'm neurodivergent. I know how it can get sometimes. I don't know what the extent of having epilepsy and experiencing seizures are like. But what I do know is that I want them to feel heard and seen by my presence, and I don't ever want them to feel like they can't be their true selves around me, that they can't be accepted around me. I'll never make their way of being seem like a disorder, because there's nothing unorderly or disinconduct of that. There's nothing wrong. I hate using the word disorder. What is dysfunctional about this? Because let me look this up. The prefix dis, it literally not opposite of. So the opposite of order, disorder, is not of order. I see neurodivergency and other forms of being, I see as a different way of order. We just do things differently. My form of neurodivergency, I can take care of myself very well. It's just I operate different than others. I can't do a task for a very long time unless it's a passion. I could do that for days. But when it comes to like, sit here and study for 2 hours, I'm sorry, no. Let me take some breaks in between. I might not be focused, certain things like that. That's the account too. And I never have to feel like I have to explain myself around like my friends that are neurodivergent, because they just get me. And it's like the way they talk to me, like, and they're so open-minded. You know how rare it is to meet another neurodivergent person that's closed-minded? It's kind of like impossible. And I truly find the safe space between neurodivergent people, because neurodivergent people are very open. I don't want to say very open-minded, because we're not a monolith, but I'm saying there's a correlation. I see the pattern that a lot of neurodivergent people are pretty open-minded, and I think it's because we've been outcasted all our lives, because people are closed-minded to think that our existence is actually included in the world. Kind of like they alienated us, like made it seem like we're like worldly, like we're not of here, which I also think so, because I also made a video talking about how neurodivergents are star seeds, like we came on this planet for a brighter and bigger purpose than ourselves. But the way they see it, and neurotypicals and average people, they see it in a negative way, like you're weird, you're crazy, you're childish, you're lazy, this like things like that. Neurotypicals, they never been outcasted for their way of being. They might be outcasted for other reasons, like, oh, I didn't like pepperoni on my pizza, or I like this and that. Nothing serious, or maybe they have, I don't know. But what I'm saying, like, neurodivergence, ever since I was a kid, I've always been ostracized. I always felt like I was different. and like the moment my whole life I've been having like neurodivergent friends. But I've also had friends that weren't neurodivergent, and I realized I couldn't really click with them as much. But every time I talk to my friends now, I actually feel sane. I actually feel heard. I actually feel taken care of. I actually feel like, oh my gosh, like they actually care about me. And whenever I get overstimulated, they know. Because when I'm overstimulated, I'm not trying to talk. I'm not trying to talk. I just shut down and I get frustrated. The last thing I want to hear is, are you okay? Talk to me. Let me know. Stop talking. Like that's split with them. They're just like, oh, she's overstimulated. They just stop. And then when I'm feeling better, put on my headphones, close my eyes, change my clothes, change my surroundings. I feel better. Get a fidget toy. I feel better. You know? And I'm so glad I have neurodivergent friends. Like, I really feel like we're here to save the world. I truly believe that because, like, they're always so nice, so kind, so understanding, so brilliant. I never met a neurodivergent person that was a dumbass. I've met people that were ignorant, they had insecurities, they were lacking in certain things when it came to like empathy. I've seen that, but never to the point where I'm like, oh, F them, screw them. No. But yeah, I want to wrap this up because I don't have as much storage. And I just wanted to share my opinions because having neurodivergence friends finally made me feel like I can breathe. In my whole life before I met them, I felt like I was waiting to exhale. I was waiting to finally relax and be myself and actually let my hair out. I always felt like I had to put up a front or make people feel comfortable. Now I'm finally the comfortable one, and I realize life has always been beautiful. I can finally appreciate the colors that I see. I can finally live within my skin and not crawl anymore, not tiptoe. And I truly feel like that's beautiful, and I love that so much. Thanks for watching. Let me know.
Great. It was really nice to meet you. Thanks for coming.
Let me know. Oh, damn. Let me know how you feel about the video. Let me know how you feel about the video. Comment down below your thoughts. Comments, share, like, subscribe if you feel welcome to. I appreciate all of my reflections. Stay optimistic, stay kind, stay respectful, stay open-minded, and stay beautiful reflection. Thanks for having time with Tatiana the Optimist. I'm out.